You can now listen to RJFM and DZRJ 810 AM from wherever you are. Just type in RJ 100.3 FM on TuneIn Radio, Streema, Radio Garden, and just type in RJFM for online box radio. For DZRJ 810 AM, just type in DZRJ 810 AM on TuneIn Radio, Streema, and Radio Garden. Happy listening! Revolutions Per Minute with host Marilyn Craig and guest co-host future Dr. Zoe will revolutionize your life. Spend lunch with them every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. This is your Love Life Teleradio with interviews with people from all walks of lives, as well as personalities, with stories that enlighten and inspire. So catch RPM on Teleradio Bandido, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, free-to-air Channel 29, DZRJ 810 AM, Facebook.com/DZRJ 810 AM, and YouTube channel RJ AM News.
Yes, hello, RPM Revolutions Per Minute. Happy New Year to all our avid listeners and to my partners here, Conrad Pereras and our good friend, Mr. Ed Ramirez from Toastmaster. All right, so stay tuned. We don't have much time. 1 hour is not enough to talk about our favorite topic for the year, January 1, 2022. So, yes, we'll be talking about New Year's resolutions and why do they fail. And you can put on our chat box what are your resolutions last year and how come it failed last year and you want to do it again. So then maybe we could answer you. All right, so on the lower left on your screen is Mr. Ed Ramirez, our Oriental healing practitioner. All right, so he was our guest last week, and of course he's into software accounting. Right, and also our partner here, the debonair Mr. Conrad Pereras of Toastmaster, also is our economist and our entrepreneur. So today we're supposed to have my daughter, future Doc Zoe, but she was called at 8 o'clock and still on online consultation for pediatrics. So, sayang, apat sana tayo, may millennial, right? So, guys, how are you? How's your New Year last night? Your New Year's Eve?
Well, we had a countdown, and I noticed that this year, fireworks are not as much as they used to be. But in my village, I walked around this morning, and the streets are so cluttered.
Cluttered? Wow! So they're allowed. In our village was not allowed. So we just watch it from my terrace overlooking Rockwell Century and Mandaluyong. Quite enjoy the view.
It looks like fireworks and love are two things that cannot be legislated.
Probably, right?
Happy New Year, Ed.
Especially the forbidden loves cannot be legislated. How about you, Ed? How was your New Year's Eve?
Well, it was relatively peaceful. I like peaceful New Years because peaceful New Years are safe, right? Look, I've got all my 10 fingers.
Oh, I did the firework, the like a losses. They call it losses ba yun? For lights, loses. So I got burned a little bit from the spark. Anyway, so we enjoyed it. So I hope everybody, our kababayans, enjoyed their New Year's party, New Year's Eve party, and I hope everybody was safe last night. And hopefully they're also healthy. They didn't overeat and over drank. I had a little bit some how do you call this, soju, Korean soju drink.
Yeah. I was told that in Times Square in New York, the ball will still be dropped. There will not be as many people as they used to have, but they will be there, and they'll do the no. They're done. They're done.
Yes. It's 12 o'clock here, 12 o'clock there, so they must have dropped it already. All right. So, yes, and I'm sure partly from all the fun and screaming and cheering, Happy New Year. And you know what I did? I bought a trumpet, each one of us. So we went to all the rooms, as they say, and switch on the lights and trumpet the bad spirits away. And that's what the idea of the Chinese New Year, or the Chinese people who invented firecrackers, right, is to drive away the bad spirits lingering around their homes and inside their homes, right? And
my friends in the provinces, they started bringing up the bazooka. The bamboo bazooka, and they've been posting on Facebook how they did it. That's my best recollections of New Year in the province. Being a PromD, so I know exactly how much enjoyment they get from the bamboo bazooka.
Yeah, from Oriental. Let's ask Mr. Ed Ramirez here, our friend Ed, from being into Oriental healing, and at least culture of Chinese, right? And or other Oriental how do you call it, nationals. Korean also has got their customs, and Japanese and Chinese, but we are more related to the Chinese, right? So what do you believe in China, in the as soon as the clock strikes at 12? So did you also start like throwing coins? They say throw coins, and then start making noise and switch on all the lights and start jumping. Maybe you can grow taller. What was yours? What's your tradition at home?
Actually, we've been really busy at home, helping others, trying to make their Christmas season exciting. So I think our New Year was relatively like peaceful and quiet, just eating, gathering around, and sharing stories. So it's more like a family get together.
Yeah, talking, right? When among my family, like after just 3 sentences, then everybody is on their own cell phone. It's just 4 of us, but seems like the cell phone was just there as soon as, and then I said, yeah, this is life. This is New Year. Little bit of words, and then back to the cell phone thingy. Because of course our families are located in different provinces or different countries, so yeah, so ours was actually quiet dinner and a little bit of talks, and then as soon as we finish greeting Happy New Year, we say, okay, ano yung resolutions mo? Ano yung goals mo for 2022? And then my family says, to be fit, lose weight. That's all that we could say, because in our family, I think I gained 5 kilos and Zoe gained 5 kilos. And my PA, Marge, our chef, also said, I gained, and she's so scrawny and small. And my brother said, what do you want? He said, I wish this COVID ends. My brother said. So just the 4 of us, and then became quiet, and then we slept because we have a show, and Zoe, who's supposed to be our guest, suddenly was given work to do today.
Pero MK, from fat to fit, those are 9 letters. Good job.
Yeah. So now we'll talk about first our why do resolutions fail? Let's go directly to that thing, because it's so easy to say, what's your resolution? What's the resolution? To be honest, I'll start with myself. Last year, I never made any resolution. I just say I want to be kinder to my brother, because sometimes my brother gets into my nerves. But still, I'm still impatient. So normally, I don't really promise myself to do anything. But this year, I want to be fit, first of all, and then still try to be patient with my brother and with everybody around me. And my third is to engage more in money business.
Money business, huh?
Yeah, because there's so many businesses that are offered to me, and sometimes they are free.
You mean you will give away more money this year than last year?
No, I'll give some, but I'll collect more. I'll invest some, but it should hopefully it will make more. But anyway, so that's mine. So I'm a little bit serious this time. So now let's talk about how to be able to engage and to really not fail into those goals that we would like to happen 2022. But of course, being healthy is my number one.
That's good. But Ed, I have a question for you. I think the more fair question that we should ask first is, do you believe in setting New Year's resolutions? And then, of course, we'll answer the question of MK, why many people fail. According to some statistics, 50% of people around the world set resolutions, but only 4% are successful. Do you set resolutions on New Year's Day?
In my case, I don't set resolutions. I set goals.
Yeah, goals.
Yes.
Di ba pareho lang yan?
Because I think resolutions also involves what you want to change in yourself, right?
Yeah.
I think at my age, goals are preferable.
Yeah, and our age should be goals. That's why I said I set myself with goals. But resolutions kasi putting more solution to what you have not done. So you resolute. Yung parang it's not something decisive, right? Kasi pag yung sabi, this is my goal, it's really a goal. And then you know that all goals are set under SMART, right? So, yeah, but I think when you set a goal or a New Year's goals, wag nang resolutions kasi pasay na yun. Let's not use the resolution. We'll say intentional goals.
Oh.
I think it's very important, the word intentional goals.
Yeah, ano bang intentional goals mo, Ed? Because according to some people, many of the goals on New Year's or at the beginning of the year are mostly self-improvement goals. The rest are career goals. So which area in your life do you set goals?
You know, it's important for everybody, myself included, to have different kinds of goals. For example, like financial goals, health goals, right? Goals on what you want to learn, what skills you want to develop, achievements that you want for the year, and what passions do you want to explore for this year. And spiritual goals, and probably fulfillment goals.
When you set your goals, do you look at the past year, assess what has happened to you last year, and then that becomes the basis for your goals this year?
I think it's important to look at the past year in order to examine the reasons why you were not able to achieve your own goals, and then examine your strengths, okay, your weaknesses, the terrain, right? And then once you've understood what's happening right now, you can ask yourself, okay, with this situation, what do I want to challenge myself with for this coming year? What do I want to commit? Okay, the magic word there is commit, right? Because so many people just, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. The question is, what do you want? What do you commit to for this 1 year? It's not great.
I like that, because then, as you're saying, it comes with the focus to what you want to happen for yourself. So intentional goal, and then yung intention is very important, your biggest why. And then if your biggest why, it should be based, kasi marami rin, di ba, ano yung sabi ko, health, and then financial for businesses, and then patience, di ba, emotional. So, yun importante yung attitude.
Yeah. Did you say
Why?
biggest wife?
Why?
Wife?
Why?
Why? Okay.
Life,
I
life.
thought you were referring to the wife.
So, dapat yung focus, your goal, and then yung intention mo, it should be super intentional to that goal, and the biggest why. Kasi, again, asan ang priority mo? So, I always base na ngayon, sabi ko, why don't I practice what I've learned in modern applied psychology? So, from my intention now, my biggest why, depending on the health or something, I should put most urgent, most important, di ba? So, yun ang dapat mauna. And then, most important, but not urgent. So, then you classify, and then not important, not urgent, but it still must be done. So, I think yung setting the goal, it should be very specific, di ba? That's why I was saying, why do people's resolutions don't work? Kasi walang specific na to the dot na how you gonna attain it. What's your attitude towards it? Kasi minsan yung health nagiging important goal nila because they are sick, right? But the moment they feel better, then we are just human, and then you fall again. So it comes with discipline. So then you have to, I found out na you have to know who you are. What are your triggers? What are your habits? What are your limitations, your desires and wants? So based on that, yon importante na i-base mo yung goal mo. Kasi gaya ko, so kung anong alam ko yung triggers ko sa pagkain, so sabihin ko sa yaya ko, huwag ka na magluto ng may mga fats. Gusto ko fish, lean meat, and then vegetables, a lot of vegetables. So, di ba? So, anong triggers ko? Yung masasarap na pagkain, ba mo? So, avoid, di ba? And avoid to be near the kitchen. So, what I'm stating is yung emotional intelligence, yung self-awareness and mindfulness to who you are, what you are, and how you are at what you do. So, importante yon na isulat mo lahat doon na ano ba yung mga triggers niya na hindi ko nagagawa, di ba? Discipline, and then isulat mo talaga, you know, right? As, di ba yung SMART, what does it say? Specific, measurable, achievable, and then realistic, and then timely.
Pero MK, I must warn you that even the road to heaven is paved with good intentions.
I know. That's why the attitude is important.
Tama. Ikaw, Ed, ano yung process mo? What is your process na ginagamit? Number one, yung setting goals. Number two, yung to make sure that you stick to your goals and that you achieve them. Ano yung, how do you process it?
Do you know, I have a different way of setting goals, okay? Before I set goals, I ask myself, what are things that I want to differently this time? What are the things that I want to change in my life? Do I want to be a professional speaker this time, or do I want to stay in front of the computer this time, or what do I want to do? So I ask that kind of question. And as Marilyn said, what are things that I want to improve on? Okay, so that's factored in. And then also I ask myself, what are the things I want to experience this year, right? Considering the situation, do I want to travel, or do I want to try a new health regimen? So there. And what obstacles do I want to overcome for this year that I haven't overcome in the past? So I put together the answers to these questions. Then from there, I derive my goals, because, you know, it seems like goals have a logical factor in it. but they also have an emotional factor. Sometimes you want this goal. Okay, I will set up this goal. I want to be a millionaire this year. Okay, but my passion is not exactly on the figure of 1 million. It's something else, like probably helping others. I want to serve others in a bigger way. I want to build a closer relationship with my family. So there is this constant push and pull here of emotional thing and then logical thing. So the question is, who do you give into? Do you give into yourself or the big wife?
Yeah, so yung mga sinasabi mo, it falls on the list that Conrad said. So when you make your you mention all the life areas. 12 yung life areas na minention mo dito, Conrad. Let me read it, di ba? Oh. Sabi ni Conrad, okay, here are the areas that maybe you want your goals or to do your resolution on. Health and fitness. Number 2, intellectual, emotional. Could be character. Yan nga, improving your character. Ako, patience. To be more patient and kinder. And then spiritual. I used to be very spiritual, but I'm still. I believe in the power of the universe and in doing good. The good karma. I throw a good, so then good comes back to me. So maybe more of that. And then love. Could be love. Love my wife more, love my husband. Wala akong husband, so I will love my brother more, my Zoe more, less arguments. And then love the people around me more, seek to understand them and do unconditional acceptance. So yan, love yan, di ba? Unconditional acceptance. Because they say the success in life has a great impact on the quality of your relationships at home and outside. If you don't have good relationship with your family, you are not inspired to do good, or your decisions are not that good, because it always affects, right? So love, importante yon. Better than parenting. Better mom. And then could be social. You want to be more sociable, because there's some people really doesn't like socializing, or they're not that friendly, So could be financial. Like me, I want to engage more in business because I've been quiet 3 years in business, So maybe I do the aspect of the financial thing to my business. And then career, as you said, you want to develop more your career by studying, enrolling to improve your skills, So it could be the quality of your life. Ano ba yung quality of life? You're so scringy, yung makinakain nyo, you're too stingy to buy something for yourself to improve the quality of your life. It could be, wala kang aircon, electric fan, baka naman kaya mo mag-aircon. Or what are the qualities of life that you want to improve upon, di ba? And then vision. May vision ka pa ba? Are you still giving mission and vision to yourself? Because when we reach 60 and above, parang, I've done it all. That's not true. Now, what's your vision at 60? What's your vision at 70? At 80, di ba? Also, yun ibe-base natin yun.
I'm glad that you read out aloud the areas. In many literatures, those are referred to as the wheel of life.
Yes.
That if they're not perfectly distributed, the wheel is not round. So it's like traveling on a bumpy road. But last year, 2022 na pala ngayon, last year, I set a goal on getting involved in helping a lot of people set their life goals. And this has something to do with crafting your own roadmap. Alam mo naman, I'm involved in corporate governance and public governance, but nobody has really looked at personal governance. And all these things that you are mentioning, it has something to do with having a roadmap for your life. And karamihan, wala namang roadmap, so they just pick here and there any of those life areas where they can set their resolutions. No? Ang sinasabi ko lang, just like Ed, there is a systematic way of creating your roadmap, and once that roadmap is there, it's just like going to Baguio. You have a roadmap to follow to make sure that you get there. No, unfortunately, regardless of what people are doing to set their goals, ang statistics show that very few are really able to stick to those goals. What is your experience, Ed? Do you like the last year or the last 18 months? You're faced with a pandemic. I always tell myself, I will always wear my mask, wash my hands, observe social distancing. But today I walked and I forgot to bring my mask, and I'm not willing to go back home just to get it. So, yun yung non-observance. Ano bang batting average mo, Ed? I know you're already successful with in the Toastmasters. You have several DTM awards. So every year it becomes tougher, no? Are you successful in the other areas where you set your life goals?
Well, I think I don't consider myself 100% successful in all areas. You know, life is a bit tricky. It sometimes hands you awards, sometimes it hands you lemons, right? So there are things that really sidetrack you from your goals. Take, for example, what happens like you're driving down the road and suddenly you see, hey, there's something for sale here. And then you stop and then you go down and you buy what you saw on the road. I mean, how would you know that you would see this exciting thing 3 years ago, right? Sometimes life reveals to you things that make you change directions. So it's kind of hard to stick to one particular path or define yourself according to a particular road. But what's important is that if you're committed to something, okay, you continue with that journey, right, to that goal. If you want to have a happy family, for example, what you ask yourself, what am I going to do with my family this year to make it exciting for everybody? Okay, address problems that some of my family members might be encountering or something like that. So that, I think it's good to commit, but it's good to also have some flexibility to allow yourself to grow further.
But when you set your goals, do you go for ambitious goals or not so ambitious so that they are achievable, or somewhere in between?
Well, in my case, I set goals that are that I really need to achieve. Okay, whether it's hard or it's easy or what, yeah, I really need to get this goal done. I don't know how it's going to be done, but hey, I have to put all my effort into this. I may succeed, I may not, but at least I know at the end of the year, hey, I gave my best, and this is the outcome that is the reward for all my effort. I think that matters most, because it's really hard to say that after 1 year, hey, I didn't give my best here, so this is the outcome, right? I think we really need to just commit and give our best.
What about you, MK? Do you set ambitious goals?
Yes, I do the most important, like I said, urgent and important. So I divide it whether it's the most important, urgent, not important. So I subdivide it and I draw a map. I don't know if you could read it. So it's career development. Then I write down, I put all, so how do I improve my career? So then my modern applied psychology, I did it, right? So I want that social behavior. I want to learn why people say or do what they do. And then Toastmaster is part of the map to improve me. So I think being specific, if you really want what is the most important for 2022 for you now, is to really draw that map. They call it the life mapping. So you put career development, then you put, okay, so I've started my modern applied psychology because I'm very much interested in helping women to empower themselves. And I've been empowering women based on my experiences and my knowledge, but not at that time on modern applied psychology. So since a lot of women are in my how do you call this, in my organizations, and they need help and they need emotional empowerment and like that, so I said, okay, do I go to that empowering women, because that's my advocacy. And then they said, if it's your passion, and this is my passion, if you are giving a value to people, then you can maybe earn from it. And if you want to earn from it, become professional about it. So how did I do that? So I make, again, how would I put value to people? And then how can I earn? So if I'm certified and I have a diploma and I can do well and I have experiences, then I can earn, right? Because they say a passion you can earn from something you love to do. And if you give values to people, and then it's people are very interested, then you can earn from it by educating yourself, so improving your career. So then you say, how do you improve? So then I put Toastmastership as a part of improving my goal, career development, because maybe I could speak, but I want to be a real good public speaker, you know.
So when you say you want to empower women, you serve the role of a coach, a life coach.
Yes, so I want to be a mentor and coach, and that's why I educated myself towards modern applied psychology.
Yeah, but when you set a goal for yourself, do you also look for coaches or mentors?
I have my own mentor, and they said, talking about that, they say to set a goal, sometimes you need a mentor or a coach, because this is the person that will really push you.
So you would recommend that for people who are setting goals.
And I've been researching about this topic, and I said, why do they fail and like this? And one thing that clicked to me is, like, you really need a coach.
Yeah, I remember 2 years ago, I went to Ed. I told him I want to become a DTM. Can you show me the way? And he did. No? I asked him the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Pero how do I do it? And I think he helped me within a year. I was able to achieve what I want. Do you experience the same for yourself? And when you set your goals, do you look for mentors as well,
or a mentor?
You do it by yourself?
Yes, I also have my own mentors. Do you know, the thing about mentors is that they help you open up the right path for you. You know, it's not enough to know how to get there. Sometimes you need somebody who can actually say, hey, this is the actual road that you have to take.
Yeah, the short distance to that point.
The funny thing is that not all journeys, it's not always a straight line that connects both points. Okay, sometimes the straightest line is the most dangerous for you, right? So you need the coach to help you navigate the jungle, so to speak.
He gives you the roadmap.
Yeah. Pero ano yan, when you look for a mentor or a coach, there is a cost involved. Do you measure the ROI? I will hire a mentor. It costs me something, but what do I get in return? not very many people look at this from that perspective. Like when I want to play better golf, I get the best coach. But in my early years, I think I can do anything and everything. So puro sariling sikap. And once I develop a bad habit, it's very difficult to change it.
Correct. That's why they say to sports, to music, we get a coach to teach us to be better or to be our best. Pero in life, I mean, like we say, no, I know everything. I'll just learn along the way. But that's why we don't reach our goal very fast because we don't have anyone to guide us.
Trial and error.
Yeah. So to guide us is okay. You know, it's expensive. And I hope that individually in our country we'll start appreciating to have a coach, a private coach, and a mentor. Because even basketball players, right? They have their coach, how to be fit and to have focus onto their games. And now there are some people now having coach, but for those people who are depressed or a little bit lost in their lives. But actually, you don't have to be lost in life to have a coach and a mentor. Even in America, or let's say there's this company who's hiring people, coaches. Either you go executive coach for companies. Companies now appreciate, but not even all companies in the Philippines have their own mentor and coach to mentor and coach their employees. Because if you watch the Netflix movie Billionaire, watch that. You know why they're very successful? Because anytime somebody feels down and not lost their focus on trading, they would go immediately to their psychologist or to their coach and say, I don't feel well, my head, put me back. And then the coach will just put them back and say, do you feel better? I feel better, thank you. Oh. So they can go in and out in their office anytime to be coached, because there are times we are not at our best, you know? And then there are times when you just say, I'm not feeling well. And then you just be lazy on that day, and time is money. But when there's a coach that you could call and say, why do I feel this way? Then the coach in that movie will just say, what have you done today? How's family? How's your wife? How's your children? So are you questioning your wife's anger on you like that? It happens. They said, do that after the work. Go do this gift, give him this. Maybe he just wanted your time and you're saying, I love you, honey, let's go out. So then later, yeah, maybe. So little intelligences will just come to you and then you realize. So a coach and a mentor is there to make you realize where you are slacking a little bit. So in that 7 life areas, it could be your relationship, your career, your community, your duties and responsibilities that are routine, and your spirituality, your health and wellness. Some days could be like, how many have you slept? I said, no. How many have you slept in the whole week? They said 20 hours. I said, you need a little bit rest. They said,
one of the things I learned when you set goals is being able to exercise trade-offs. Because you don't have unlimited resources to achieve your goals. Have you experienced the major trade-offs in your life? Like, I prefer to be single instead of being married so I can pursue my professional career much faster. Or another trade-off is for a boyfriend or a girlfriend, pipiliin ko yung mayaman kaysa doon sa matalido. So these are trade-offs, no?
Yan ang trade-offs natin in early life. So, but that's a good thing to tell the young people who are still single.
Oh, so Ed, ikaw, what is the major trade-off in your life that? Yes.
No holds barred.
Well, I think taking from our topic a little bit earlier on coaching, right? For the most important goals, you really need to invest in a coach.
Yeah.
So the trade-off is, it's better to lose a little money but gain a lot in terms of time, right? Because you know, at a certain point, so my you only have so much time in your life, and you'd like to experience more or achieve more or re-experience certain things that have to take place in your life, right? And the trade-off is really something of lower value. You know, like they say, you can always earn money, but you cannot get back the time, right? That's why I disagree with time is money. Hey, time is more important than money.
Yay.
It's a very important currency.
Yeah. The most important currency is
I think
time.
the trade-off that we hear very often is between the pursuit of wealth and the pursuit of health. As the Dalai Lama says, we spend a great deal of time pursuing money only to find out that we have to lose that money to
pay
get
for
health.
pay for our health.
Yeah, and many times we cannot gain it back.
And especially with the time with our loved ones, actually.
Correct. So
there should be life balance, and you should have a wise mind talaga and be mindful of what's important.
So,
You know?
so do you believe that it is important that the first and most important thing that you need to settle in your life is finding your purpose? Because when you find your purpose, everything else will follow. So,
Yeah, I like that. Passion and purpose should be hand in hand.
mhm, mhm.
Ikaw, Ed, anong sikreto mo in finding your passion and purpose?
How do you keep that youthful look?
You know, I'm not the kind of person who says, hey, what is my purpose in life? It's kind of hard because sometimes certain moments demand your attention or your love or your service, right? And sometimes that takes away everything. Like, for example, I want to be a multimillionaire like
Steve Jobs.
Conrad here. But the thing is, you know, sometimes instead of working, there are things that happen. Like my wife says, hey, you know, I've had a bad day. I said, okay, here's what, let's go to the mall. And
Instead of working, right?
yeah.
So again, it's based on your priorities nga. Sabi, happiness naman, it's not in the money eh. I mean, money is good, you know. But if it loses the people that you love, then hindi rin okay. But passion can be different naman, Ed and Conrad. Ang passion in life are my children.
Pero ang hirap maging happy na walang pera.
Yeah, I know. Pero my passion also, kasi minsan yung mga passions natin hindi kumikita, di ba? That's why you must be also passionate of something that makes you earn in life to become self-reliant. Di ba? So wag nating kalimutin din yon. Pero sometimes can be divert yung mga passions. So depende for the day. Na pag, honey, mamaya na tayo lumabas, wala naman tayong pera, let me earn muna for the day. Diba? Or let me save this and we can go travel. So there are times it's just a matter of communicating it to your family, right? So pero passion natin sila. My family is my first passion. I mean, if I have to choose between my daughter who's sick and I have to earn, I will take care of my daughter who's sick than earn. You know, pagpipiliin ako, diba? So, or I was given a chance to go to Dubai or in the Middle East to earn so much, but I would have to leave my daughter, Zoe, alone, you know, and I'm single mom, di ba? Kasi I'm separated with the dad. So I had to choose. I said, will I have a daughter who will be missing and not good in her school because she's not complete, she has no mother growing? And then I would pay more, right? If she become a liability, you know? So now I was able to choose. So, siya yung passion ko. Sa kanila yung pera, nabubuhay pa naman tayo. So, how much is how much sometimes, you know? Like, if I could live by, okay naman pa, kaya pa natin. So, I don't need to go outside the country. Pero, I'd like to quickly lang. So, ito yung roadblocks ng personal growth. And this is from my mentor. So, sabi niya, it needs knowledge. Sometimes we have knowledge without context.
Knowledge without
Context.
context.
Oo, knowledge is irrelevant until it becomes a tangible output. And many of us sometimes put so much knowledge. Dami ko mga alam ganun. Tapos wala ka naman at the right context. So, and then you learn helplessness. So sometimes a person believes that they cannot learn, grow, develop, or mature. And then, pangatlo is unidentified opportunities. You know, people resist challenge and confrontation instead of embracing and growing. And then another roadblocks to development is undeveloped vocabularies. So meaning person must be able to articulate their perspective and intentions clearly to be understood and not misjudged. Even to our own family. Mama, guys, to ganito, ganito. Pero sometimes our friends doesn't understand. And then in our office or in our companies, sometimes, well, the people are not articulate enough to make you understand being a boss and vice versa. So we need vocabulary, the words to say. And then state of comparison. So person perpetually compares against perception of others. We always compare our own perception towards others. Sometimes ako, matikas talaga ulo ko, ito yung perception ko basta feel ko ito. This is my gut. So, destiny attitude, you know. So, people, they blame, it's a destiny to blame for person's life outputs, you know. And then they blame their relationships and their results. So, yun ang sinasabi ng destiny happens to me. Hindi yung destiny happen as me. Dapat. And then negative motivations. Right? So people prioritize ease and then security and safety instead of calculated risk and progression. So, yan, pinibase yung goal rin natin yan So, yung
lahat yan may common denominator, di ba? And the common denominator is that all of us simply wants to be happy. And to be happy, there are different routes to getting there, depending on priorities. I wanted to ask, because you talk of comparison, do you compare yourself with others? Do you even compare your husbands or your wives?
That's a no-no, right?
Because your choice are sacred. No?
And
Fortunately, you can exercise choices in your lifetime. Do you believe that life is short? Many people say that. I hear it left and right. Life is short.
True.
But do you really believe that life is short to be able to set and achieve our life goals? And
yeah.
Well, I believe that life is too short to leave everything to chance.
I like that also. Right.
Okay.
Me, life is so short because there's so many things to learn. Because the more you learn, the more you know you don't know much. You know. So, but I like what what Ed says. Like life is too short to keep your life on chances only. You know.
So,
Pero I agree. Short ang life. There's so many things I still want to do. When you're older, when you reach our age, you know, a little bit of maturity and wisdom, then you know that there's so many things I want to do. The spirit is willing, but my body is weak. And I cannot be in the same place at the same time, or I cannot do many things at the same time.
sabi nga, the spirit is strong, but the flesh is weak.
Yes, ganun.
So what would you recommend to our listeners? What kind of process they should go through to increase the probabilities of success in achieving their life goals. Ed, you're our guest.
Okay. You know, it's really tough when getting to your goal is filled with a lot of challenges, and then you have the situation that the entire world is dealing with right now, the pandemic. So it's really difficult, right? So I personally believe that aside from our own goals, what are the things we want to achieve and what are the things we want to commit? With all, I think that we also should put in time to create the necessary good karma for our goals to succeed, right? Good karma is a very important ingredient, I believe, in any kind of success, whether financial, family, health, relationships, all aspects of life.
Ikaw, MK, ano bang masasuggest mo sa mga kaibigan mo? Especially the women that you wanted to empower.
Yeah, you have to be really emotionally intelligent, first of all. And you have to be knowledgeable. That means you must have a little bit of a lot of IQ also. Kasi if you don't have and then you must have a wise mind. Yung wise mind is the balance of rationality and then the emotion. And then wise mind is having the spiritual, wisdom and based on your core values. So for me, you have to know who you are. What do you want?
Yeah, correct.
And based on who you are, does it align? Is it congruent to what you want and what you need?
Yeah.
And then differentiate the wants and the needs.
Yeah.
So, importante yung alam mo yung mga likes mo, dislikes mo, limitations mo, yung maximum capacity mo, yung talents mo, capabilities mo, desires mo. And may I start writing down na my desire, because my desire in the younger years is different from my desire at this age. So you have to write down all your wants, all your needs, and your wannabes. And what do you want to be is the most important one. But you cannot be wannabe in many, many forms. It should be first based on your character pa muna. Core values muna. You must list, ito pala, wants, needs, who you are, what you are, how you are, and then here's your core values.
I see. I'm glad that
kung kulang yung core values mo, ay nako, dagdagan mo.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because in my consulting practice, the way we guide companies and public offices, we go through a process, and I am currently involved in implementing the same process at the level of the individual. And this is what I mentioned earlier about crafting your own roadmap. And crafting your own roadmap is the same as crafting your roadmap for a company. You start with SWOT analysis. So you should identify your strengths and weaknesses, ano yung opportunities and threats. So you make an assessment of where you are. And then you look at your core values. What do you believe in? And once you know your core values, and normally core values naman, start with honesty, integrity, sincerity, then you put other things, no? And once you're resolved to have those core values, now you're ready to identify your mission or your purpose in life and where you want to go, what you want to become. And the rest is answering the how, because that exercise is about answering your why.
And your what. Because yung how is the degree, the comparative degree, how good are you at your what and at your core values.
But I think more than the what, the second more important is the how.
Yes.
The moment you know your how, then you can identify the what. So many people, when they put their New Year's resolutions, they start with their whats. I want to be 10 pounds lighter. I want to earn more by so much. But these are the what's. So the principle behind a program that
Is how.
I'm advocating is to start with the right question. And the right question is first asking your why, a la Simon Sinek, and then the how to get there, and the rest will be the what's. And you can refer to the different areas in your life where you want to set your strategic priorities. So that is the other third or fourth more important element, being able to identify your strategies, because the list that we put up, we cannot achieve them all if they are all important. Ibig sabihin nun, if they are all priorities, you don't know what you want.
Correct. So we have a few minutes left. Let's give it to Ed to summarize. How should we not fail?
Okay, I guess that one very important thing is that while we have so many goals, perhaps let's just pick a few very, very important goals to work on, right? As they say, it's really difficult to run after too many chickens, right?
Yeah.
So we only pursue the most important goals. So what are they, right? Identify your important goals and then work hard and put in the karma ingredient. What can generate you the good karma for you to be successful in those very important goals?
For me, I know what I am in the process of identifying my strategic priorities, but one of them is being able to write a book about my roadmap so that other people would learn how to do it themselves by showing them the example. So I want to write a book. Number two, I want to be able to enroll in my doctoral program, just like Ed, he started his MBA. I want to start my doctoral program this year, and I hope I am going to make it.
Okay, so we don't have time. Thank you so much, you guys, and Happy New Year. And for me, happiness is not success, but success is being contented with yourself, peace and joy, right? And I believe in self-fulfillment is line upon line, precept upon precept. All right, thank you guys, and thank you everyone for listening. Love you. Happy New Year.
Right, so see you again next Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday we'll continue again this one. We'll choose a topic. Mwah.
com/